to be available for as many people as possible.
Absolutely. I will give it, I got one recording software I just
already
launched.
joining with
So I
this.
will record the screen and hopefully the
Ping
voice.
at the moment,
And then I will
and
send it
it's
to you
told to
on
record
TG. I
easily.
think I can send big files there.
Brilliant. That would be brilliant.
Nice, nice.
Excellent. So we'll do a wee quick introduction. Guys, thank you for doing this workshop with us. We've been really looking forward to getting our teeth into Mithril. We understand the impact that Mithril's going to have, and I think this is really important from where you guys have started to understand the process to get onboarding. We know that that's going to change in the future. You guys are going to be streamlining that, but for now, we really want to take advantage of where the market's sitting and get on board with you guys as quickly as possible. So I'm going to just hand it over to you, if that's okay, and then at the tail end, any questions that anybody's got, or even during, if you want the guys to slow down slightly and just explain something else, just jump in, guys. It's not a stage for a reason. It's so that we can be interacting and we understand what's happening.
Beautiful.
I'll just hand it to you, Alec and Thomas. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will give it a
Thank
short
you, sir.
introduction, and then I would encourage to anyone that wants to ask questions or get more granularity. If you're interested in something, you want us to go deeper, discuss the actual parameters of a bot or a strategy, like literally just make a noise, and then we pause it there, and then otherwise it can be hard to sort of have 10 questions in your mind and you miss something. So just grab us, stop us, and then we address it right then and there. Super short, sort of who me and Thomas is. You might have seen us before, you might not have. I used to be the growth hacker and senior growth hacker and manager at Swissborg. Thomas was my first hire there. We did the alpha products. We have raised roughly 20-ish million for 12-ish projects. We also did all of the gamification, the loyalty, the partnership, BD, and KOL. Also social media, sorry, I missed that. And then we went over to Galactica, where Thomas was head of ecosystem. I was chief growth officer. And we were able to help them scale from 700 community members to roughly 2.4 million. We exited Galactica right after the TGE. And since then, we've been building Mithril. So both me and Thomas were into trading even before we got into the sort of corporate crypto world. So roughly 5 years ago, we were building our own trading execution environments, and I was focusing on flash loans and arbitrage opportunities, and Thomas can probably share what he was interested in back then, which led us to create Mithril. So with Mithril, you have a couple of different options depending on what type of trader you are. So right now, Mithril is really good for what I would call like informed traders that are looking to get more exposure to especially the perp DEX arbitrage opportunity when it comes to points. So there's a great asymmetry on currently the value of points, the cost by which you can acquire the points, and the value of those points arbitraging the different there. And then you also have a growing range of strategies on Mithril that is more focused on the executive trader that sees an opportunity, wants to capture that opportunity. So how I would think about this is essentially the timeline for different trades. Mithril started with like very long timeline horizons. So how can you market maker on a specific perp DEX at a very low cost per million in volume so that you earn more points than what you pay for that million in volume? That's a little bit how we started. And now gradually we're releasing more and more strategies that are, for example, scalping momentum that you might run for a couple of hours or a day, stuff like grid bots. We're also internally testing DIY strategies, which is essentially a suite of, you can choose your signals, you can choose your execution environment, your parameters, and then launch it. And to simplify the journey that we're taking Mithril on, is essentially we want to we want to have a Mithril product that enables or that assists a trader in each step of their trading journey, from finding and analyzing the opportunity to deciding what strategy, what parameters to capture that opportunity with, executing on that strategy parameters for that market regime, and then also iterating on that strategy. So those are sort of the four main steps we are currently working on. You have already opportunities for delta neutrals, so that's a simple way to explain sort of helping you find opportunities. So on the delta neutral side, we're scanning all of the trading pairs on all of the perplexes that we're connected to, looking at the spread, at the funding rates, at the reliability of the funding rates, the duration of them. And based on that, we essentially provide a page. Maybe Tom, actually, you want to share your screen and show the delta neutral opportunity page?
Yeah, we really to. I really want to share a bit everything. Maybe I can share first the feature, and then we go like into how to set it up.
Yeah.
I will do that now.
Beautiful. So that enables people to quickly, even if you don't use Mithril as the execution environment, it enables people to get assistance through that entire journey of what should I be trading today? What is the data? Where is an opportunity based on the data? And then you can, of course, filter.
Sorry, I need to quit and rejoin to authorize to share the screen. So I will be back in 1 minute.
Go for it. So with the delta neutrals as an example, it looks at all of those parameters, comes with a suggestion on where you have the highest ROI potential, what time frame you would break even in, and then what your weekly gain is one of the digits that we show. But it's one of those things I would encourage people not to put too much reliance on. A lot of trade is good now. The likelihood of the trade still being good without having funding rates reverse or flip or anything like that, the likelihood of that decreases over time, right? So you want opportunities to be time sensitive with low latency so that you can execute on them. And then you ideally also want some guardrails on when you should exit the trade because the trade is never going to be forever green. And hopefully we can share some examples on how that looks like and what things you can change and set. But yeah, currently there is a beautiful opportunity, especially on Paradox. So on Paradox, for example, with the market maker opportunities, you have a great range. Of course, when it's really directional, one day I would pause the bot because when you have directions on something like a market maker, it's going to hurt you. You can change some parameters in the bot setup to protect you on that. So you can have kill switch, you can have a hedge ratio, you can have an inventory skew that you can change to protect yourself against dramatic market moves. But right now, market making on Paradox is beautiful. Pacifica, you're breaking even given the most conservative estimates on the points. And on Hibachi, you're most likely doing 70 to 100% ROI per week. But the Hibachi point estimates are still a bit vague. So I would maybe wait a bit with Hibachi until there's more clarity on the value of the points. But market making is currently quite good on Paradox and Pacifica. And then, Thomas, maybe we can also show the opportunity page for like directional for trending, because I made some. We're trying out this tech right now internally with the team. So we started running tests yesterday, and I'm actually already in the green on one of these directional opportunities.
Let me know what to share, and I will jump on it.
Yeah, go ahead. So should we?
So delta neutral or opportunity or trading bot?
Delta neutral, because I think that shows the flow in a very nice and simple way. I have a bit of a hard time seeing your screen share. It's like a gray overlay on it. Is that just for me? Sorry. I just needed to press watch stream.
Okay. So if we talk about a bit the delta neutral or the funding rate arbitrage, what we have is first a tab called Scanner, in which you can see all the opportunities that are currently existing. So this is live opportunities. So you have an opportunity when you have two exchanges that have different funding rates. So when you hold a position there, they pay you different. You pay or they pay you different funding fees, and you can arbitrage this difference. So what you can do is basically you select the exchanges you have accounts on. Let's say I have an account on Paradex and Pacifica, so I select these two accounts, and here I will see all the opportunities that exist, and they are all ranked from a opportunity score that we created. This score is not only about the APY, it's also about, here you can see it's attractive, right? The APR, like 200%, 128, but these rates are moving a lot. So you shouldn't open a trade and think, okay, we make 200% a year. No, because they vary a lot. So we take the evolution or the stability of the funding rate into the calculation of the score. But basically, that's it. So you see all the opportunities that exist, and if you want to take advantage on it, very simple. You click open. You have a summary of what is the strategy you want to do. So I want to long on Paradex. I want to short on Pacifica. I get this yield. These are entry costs based on the spread that each exchange have, and then we calculate kind of an expected return per day and a profitability ROI time, basically. When you want to open the trade, you can see live what is your balance on both exchanges. So you can decide, okay, to open a position of, let's say, 500, and boom, it will automatically calculate your leverage, and then you can simulate it and open. And it will also place the take profit at stop loss to make sure they are far away from your liquidation price, so you are fully protected. So when you click simulation, it confirms basically all the execution parameters, like what is the fee, what is the spread, and it calculates a precise take profit and stop loss based on your own parameters. And then you can open a position. Right now I will not do it because it takes like a minute or so, because it needs to open position on both exchanges, confirm 2 times that position has been opened with exact same size in amount of token, and position the top stop loss and take profit very correctly on both exchanges.
Could we actually, sorry for jumping in, could we actually launch one now? Because I think it's quite, one of the things that I love with this delta neutral setup is that if you're doing a delta neutral manually, one of the hardest things to achieve is placing the orders at nearly the exact same time at the same value. And if you get a discrepancy as you place the initial bets, right, the one shorting, the one longing, then that discrepancy grows as time evolves. So the fact that you can launch the 2 positions nearly instantaneously, like you're down to milliseconds, and the amount is so accurate on each that the biggest risk that I would say that you have with opening up a delta neutral using this would be funding reversal, and that's something that you can actually have like an automatic closure of. So if there is a funding flip, it can automatically close out both positions so that you don't get negative funding. And then the other one is if your entry points are nearly exact, like if they're, now I'm just gonna, if they're exactly $500 on each side, same amount of tokens, roughly at the exact same second, then the only risk you then have is essentially the different divergence of spot price on the 2 perp dexes. So even though a lot of them use similar, if not the same oracle, there will be a slight deviation based on the perp dex order book, based on their execution. There will the spot price is not exactly the same on two different dexes. So that's then the only risk that you essentially have with the delta neutral. But yeah, I don't know, Thomas. Maybe I don't know if I can share my screen. I've ran quite a lot of these, and I would say like 2 out of 3 end up in the green for me. And I can probably extrapolate that now, or I would say 4 out of 5 end up in the green. So it's a quite nice ongoing strategy that you can use that essentially just takes advantage of the capital inefficiency between the funding rates on different dexes.
When you're doing this, Alec, do your gains, where do they accumulate? Do they accumulate into your wallet that's attached, or do they accumulate into the trading? So if you're putting, for instance, a $50, and that exchange becomes your positive exchange becomes $57, and your negative exchange becomes $53, for instance, where does the difference sit? Does it
So
sit
basically,
within?
what we do with Mithril is that we automatize trading on the exchange account. So now I just open this position, $50 on Pacifica and Paradex. And if you go on Pacifica, you will see it. And if you go on Paradex, you will see it. Boom,
Right.
virtual, 48.3 virtual token. And I will have the same there. Maybe it's a bit small, but yeah, you see it here.
Okay.
So
I'm trying to understand. So
basically, you're opening a long position on Paradex. So it's your Paradex account value that will change when the price changes.
Okay.
And you see, you will collect funding fees on the Paradex account as well. And it's the same on Pacifica. I will have a positive or negative P&L on Pacifica, but when you have both P&L, since it's the delta neutral, both P&L between the two exchanges will be 0.
Okay. So the part that I'm trying to think of is so Mithril's the mechanism that pairs those two together, sets the trade up. The trades run independently. So in effect, if you're looking at blockchain, you're looking at having a trade open on one exchange and a trade open on another exchange, completely independently. But within Mithril or within that exchange is the arbitration. Right. Okay. I understand.
And then if just to add to that, if there is a risk on one of the trades, the safety feature locks down both. So an example, say the long position all of a sudden on Paradex gets an inverse funding, meaning you're now paying to hold the long position rather than receiving money for holding the long position. Then, as you can see, Thomas here has auto close turned on both of these. So then if the funding rate flips, for example, on the long position, then both positions are instantly closed.
It's if the global funding rate fee, if this is negative, it will close both.
Right.
But you will, most of the time, you will still pay a bit on one exchange, but earn more on the other exchanges.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's fine.
So it's the sum total, right? Like, so it's if the sum total of both funding fees have turned negative, then close them down.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is every 5 minutes, it's monitored. So you will see the funding that you earn and the combined P&L here. You see I've earned a tiny bit of fees, but the price moved a bit in a different way between both, or maybe it's just the spread. So the initial cost to open the position that is making me a tiny bit negative here. But if I wait for also it's very small position, so I will not earn a lot. But if I come back tomorrow, most probably I will be positive on this trade, so I will earn a bit of money, and I will also farm the point of the exchanges, which is one of the main reasons we do that.
And you have the ability to close the position at any point in time. If you have a nice gain, you can close that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will do it right now. It will take maybe 20 seconds. And it will look at both, send an opposite market order, close the stop loss, close the TP, and will be like a clean exit, basically.
So what would you say was, Alec, you've been doing this for a while, what would you say was the optimum timescale to set these up? Would you say over a 24-hour period, if you're looking at market trend? Are you looking at a week? What would you say was the kind of optimum?
So I've tried a bit of both. So what I mean with both is I've tried them with the auto close feature on and with them off. And when you have the auto close feature on, the average I would say is between 1 and 3 days. So that means that your position will be open for 24 to 72 hours roughly, because the funding rates usually flip, like they're continuously dynamic. So what I started to do was I started like Toma with like a couple of $100. Now I do 5,000 to 525 on each position, because then I scale both the volume, so I get more points, but I also earn more in a shorter time frame, because a good arbitrage opportunity, people will find it and it will become crowded eventually. What you can do if you don't have the auto close on is that you essentially just let them run. And that you can do for a very long period of times. But I would not do that on anything smaller than like the top 10 tokens per market cap. Like I would maybe do that on BTC, on ETH, on tokens like that, because like the funding rate would be small, but that's also a great way for you to have non-directional exposure to BTC that is earning you an actual APY.
Mhm.
Those positions you can have open for weeks, if not even months. But I would limit my leverage so that even though a black swan event might happen, you're not going to get liquidated. I wouldn't use too much leverage on those longer term positions, because then you're essentially just receiving funding indefinitely while not having directional exposure. I would
You
only
can't
do
really
that.
be liquidated if you have the stop loss placed correctly also.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say that this was more beneficial to do this than stake, for instance, your USDT?
I mean, so I'm taught by Swissborg, so like Swiss engineer and risk managers. So I'm probably more risk adverse than most. I like when like I don't think black box solutions are good. So like you probably won't find me staking on Nexo or something like that, because it's up to their, like they will tell you, yeah, we generate this yield. How it's generated and like what are actually the risks, completely unknown. Whereas like a delta neutral, essentially taking advantage of the inefficiency in the yield curve, using a delta neutral strategy, is something tried and tested by hedge funds in TradeFi, by, you know, that I worked with Hilbert Group. They're tokenizing $500 million of Bitcoin, Nasdaq traded. Their best performing strategy that they run for the last 3+ years, delta neutral. So for me, it's about understanding how my yield is generated, understanding what risks I'm actually taking on, and then if the reward is worth that. So I would do like I would prefer it, but like a delta neutral on a stable coin doesn't make that much sense, because it doesn't have those incentives. So with a stable coin, I would probably stake it if I knew how the yield is generated. For my top holdings, like I continuously I DCA into Bitcoin, I DCA into Ethereum. That's the sort of boring trader I am. And when it comes to like, I won't put my BTC on Nexo and stake it, because I don't know how that is generated. Whereas I'm more than happy to do a delta neutral for 6 months on my Bitcoin.
Yeah. No, it was an unfair question. I don't stake anything. I I don't believe in handing over my tokens to somebody to stake because you don't, in effect, own them. So this to me is a really good solution because you own and you're in control of where it is. You can see where it's sitting. Oh, that's cool. That's fine.
Beautiful. Thomas, can we also just show, I know that we're maybe running a bit short on time, but I would love to also show, if people want to stay, I would love to also show the market maker, just because it's one of the best arbitrage opportunities currently. Maybe, Thomas, if we look at the leaderboard, because me and Thomas has both marked all of our bots so that they have our nom de plume, our alias, in the beginning, so we can see our.
So maybe before the leaderboard, we can show the full flow, right?
Yeah,
if you want to create a bot, you need to understand like kind of what bot I want to create. So we made this, this is not released to everyone. It will be probably Monday next week. So we are still kind of testing internally. What we have is the opportunity scanner that look at the market. Right now it's a top 20 token only. And you say, okay, example, AVAX, it's currently ranging. We have a bunch of indicators that confirm this, volatility low, and we have a high confidence that it's ranging. So it's a good setup to create a grid bot or a market maker bot. In the opposite, ZEC or Hype, the technical analysis shows us that it's in trending. Here it's an uptrend. Do we have this one is a volatile breakout. No, we don't have a downtrend. But so these tokens will be best for a scalping momentum trading bots that perform best in a trading market, basically. So when you have this information, you can say, okay, I like grid trading, I like AVAX, so I can launch a bot directly. So let's launch a AVAX grid trading bot on Paradex, let's say. So it's like pre-populated directly. Yeah, let's go with like a neutral bias. We'll do maybe like $50 and 3 splits, and we launch it, and boom, that's it. Basically, you have already created a bot that is based on the current market condition, and then your bot, you can see it. Sorry, I've got a bunch of bots, but you can see it here. Where is it? Boom, AVAX grid trading. If I want, I can update a bit the settings. If not, I can just launch it. So this one is AVAX running on Paradex. So if we wait a tiny bit, we will see that when I open my Paradex trading account, I will see starting to have a position there.
I don't think you pressed the launch button. Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah, you did. And also, so one interesting thing, Thomas, if you want to go back. So one thing that you can also do is that we have copy trading built in. So we really want to sort of, for any in my age range / a bit older, you might remember the Tiger Cubs, the famous Tiger hedge fund in the 80s, 90s in New York. We want to enable anyone that finds a good trading strategy to capitalize on that. Essentially, you can be your own fund manager. So you have built-in copy trading. You have some filters, right? So it's not just like a one-hit wonder. But if you have been running your bot for X amount of hours, I think it's 24, right, Thomas? Or 48?
Yep.
And then it needs to have done X amount of volume and stuff like this. Then other people can actually copy trade your strategy. And the beautiful thing with that is that they don't get your secret sauce. So here you see the leaderboard, and you have the best cost efficiency for the people that likes to farm. We can see that Samoth is actually second on Pacifica. I'm third on Pacifica. Nice to see. Highest volume or best P&L. So anyone can actually copy trade these without getting the secret sauce. So if you copy trade this, you can't see the parameters of the bot, you can't see the settings, right? That sort of stuff. And you then, as the creator of the bot, gets a revenue share from our builder fee. so that you
It's
earn
quite funny because you see this one, Vladimir, I don't know, someone name it this way, is best PNL, but actually the copy of Vladimir is best cost efficiency. They don't have the exact same parameters, because if you copy a bot like one day after the other, like they don't have the exact same activity, but it's, so you can be first in the leaderboard with a copied bot, so that's a bit funny. And yeah, sorry, Alex, I cut you, but yeah, indeed, if you want to copy this bot, so this is my own bot, so just to show, I am able to basically copy it, and I will never see the settings. So if you find a bot that has the best settings,
just let's stay on this a little bit, because this is a beautiful window, and then I can explain quickly the arbitrage as well. So here we can see that Toma has actually generated, we could see that Toma had generated 1.3 million something in volume on it at a cost of 188. So just because I do this every day, 3-4 times a day, I know these numbers by hand, so I can just give a quick breakdown. So 1.3 per 1 million in volume on, is this Pacifica, Toma? Yeah, Pacifica API. So on Pacifica, you're currently getting at minimum 110 points per 100K of volume, meaning for 1 million in volume, you're looking at least 1,100, 1,200 points. So 1.3 is most likely going to give you 1,500-ish points. Pacifica points, I would say low estimate is going to be 0.3. Might be as valuable as up to $1, $1.50. They're very close to Paradox and the big guys in terms of volume, in terms of all of the KPIs we look at when we compare FTVs. But so say minimum, very conservative. I think we're talking about $250 to $500 million valuation at FTV at TGE. 1,500 points times 0.3. Toma, help me with the math. I'm not as, yeah.
So you don't need to be
$500.
good at math, because we have this that we did, the point estimator. So if you get the lowest, the most conservative value, 1,000 points, you get $250 worth of token.
So let's do your example here. Let's do 1,500 points, and that's conservative. I think 1.3 million would give you roughly 1.7, but let's do 1.5. So Toma here on this bot is going to make roughly $375, and his cost was 188.76, right?
Yep.
Something. Yeah. So 189 if we round it upwards. You're essentially doubling your investment. You're more than doubling. You're doing 100-ish%. I don't know how long you've been running that bot for, but I run a couple of these every week across all of the perp dexes. And I'm doing between 60% to 400% return on investment per week per market maker bot I'm running. And that's exactly, if we do, Pacifica is never going to have a FTV of 250. I would say anything below 1 billion is very unlikely, but let's be super conservative so that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. But say 500 million, then the estimated value is 750. Thomas' running cost is, now I'm going to round it up, $200. His still net profit is 550. Beautiful. And if you can do that per week, you start to see quite interesting results.
Why we do that, and actually these numbers, this is what we use to kind of estimate the value of the airdrop. Is not random. It's based on what Polymarket expect. I cannot open it because it's we need a VPN to open it where I live. But if you open it, you will see that the highest probability is on Polymarket is for Pacifica to launch at $500 million.
And if
So
you
I
want to
think
get, sorry,
this
if
is
you want
quite
to
new for us.
get,
Sorry, this is quite new for us based on volumes and points, but it's a normal way that these dexes work, isn't it?
exactly. So what a lot of these, so before we even built Mithril, we had the fortunate, because we've been in corporate crypto for a couple of years, we had the ability to sit down with the founders and CEOs of all of these perp dexes pretty much. And so what we did is that we sat down and we went, we're really interested in what you're doing because we can see the volume. flowing from TradeFi into crypto, and then from crypto, a lot of it is going to DEXs. Like the volume for DEXs and perp DEXs is just shooting through the roof. It's literally billions and billions coming into the ecosystem. So we were like, the macro looks good, but we want to make sure before we start building, what are the KPIs that you guys are prioritizing right now, and that you will continue to prioritize for at least 24 to 48 months. All of them unanimously went volume, open interest, and users. If you can help us with any one of those, we're willing to pay you. You can get points and you can get builder fees. And if you have a good rebate on the builder fees to community, aka the copy trade and stuff like that, we also will have a referral program going live soon, maybe even today. We will continue to incentivize it. So what the perp dexes have understood is that they can take a portion of their revenue each month and essentially just reward the people that are creating the most activity and creating, because in crypto it's very simple. Activity equals stats. Stats equals awareness. If anyone in DeFi goes, I just made 100% ROI in 1 week, eyes are going to gravitate towards that post. And the perp dexes understand this. So they go, we are going to reward the people that bring activity and numbers to our perp dexes. And we're going to make that a part of our ongoing business model. Because that's, rather than them spending on marketing, they can just give the people that deserve it that marketing budget. So that's a little bit the logic that really helped us go, okay, let's build Mithril now, because we want to capture this opportunity for ourselves. But also, of course, the more we are, the more incentives we get. So since Mithril launched, I think we've already done 1 competition with Extended, 2 competitions with Pacifica. We're about to announce a new perp dex being integrated tomorrow, and the competition for that one launches on Monday. So all of these perp dexes, because it's not just me and Toma trading, because we're 40, 50, 60, 70 people, they go, you get 100,000 points just for you guys, or you get double the points for the next 2 weeks. And if you're looking at these numbers, doubling your points, all of a sudden Toma is making $1,500 by spending $188, $189. So the return on investment becomes really interesting.
So can I ask you, so your delta neutral, it's nice and straightforward, nice and easy. Can we rewind back to your, the is it market maker? What was it you called that? Yeah.
Exactly.
So you're trading bots. So if you're looking at your, so let me get this right. So your market maker.
Yeah.
So how does your market maker work? That's the best way to ask it.
So I would think about market making. I love the question because I'm super dyslexic. So I need to see visual images in my head. So I would think about market making as a range. So you essentially have the low end of asks and the high end of bids, right? So between that is where the activity happens. That's the spread, right? So you have on any trading pair, we're going to use Bitcoin now because it has the most liquidity. So it has the deepest and most stable range. It's the distance between what people are willing to buy and what people are willing to sell for. So what a market maker does, if we super simplify it and use some made up numbers just to make it clear, say that Bitcoin is exactly $100,000 per Bitcoin, and that the lower end of that ask is 99,000 per Bitcoin, and the higher end is 101,000 per Bitcoin. And that's the range. What a market maker then does is that a market maker buys Bitcoin at 99,000 and waits until somebody comes and wants to buy Bitcoin and they're willing to pay 100,000 or 100,001. And then you take your 99, the Bitcoin that you bought for 99,000 and you sell it at 100 or you sell it at 101. Then you wait again until you're able to scrape some low some low bids around the 99 or maybe 100, you accumulate, and then as the bid goes up again to 101, maybe 102, you start offloading. So it does this. Thomas, maybe if you show on like Paradex or somewhere where you're running a market maker, it does this, but at such a high frequency that you can see, if you zoom in a bit, like it essentially does that every single candle, right? It takes the bids, puts out new as, and we're doing this using only or like 90% maker orders. So the perp dexes love this sort of activity because now our market makers are actually providing market making. They're improving the liquidity within the lowest bid and the highest ask. We're fueling that with liquidity to make for quicker trading for the people that wants to go in and out of positions. And we're essentially we're buying low, selling slightly higher over and over and over and over again.
So
And the
this is
idea
something, this is
yeah,
something, Alec, that we understand because we do that. We'll sit in live streams and we'll range trade. We call it range trading, but we do it manually. But it's arduous. It can be a full day that you're sitting there. We do it with we did it with Aster. We did it with actually I did it the other day with Paul. It's an arduous well, it's soul destroying at times, but it does work. So what you're saying is you can basically set. So I assumed that was a grid bot. Am I wrong? I don't. Is
yes.
it
So
similar?
So the market maker bot works with the order book and the grid bot works with the price, but they
Right.
both work in a range basically.
Right. Okay. I
I,
wasn't
I
sure
would
what the difference.
I would also say that it's easier to be in the green on a grid bot, and it's harder to be in the green on a market maker. Because the market maker predominantly use maker orders, you're providing liquidity, which means that you're always at a disadvantage for the taker, right? You're always saying, this is what I'm willing to sell at, which gives the buyer time to go, where do I want to buy? Okay, here. So the goal of a market maker is essentially to have as low cost as possible. And roughly, like on Paradex, our market maker is between $20 to $100. On Pacifica is between $200 and $300 per million. So you're still earning on the points, but that's roughly the cost. Whereas a grid bot, you need to know a bit more about the market regime, and ideally you also know sort of how much volatility there is, so the size of the range, but also like the frequency of volatility, because it's really the frequency of volatility plus the range of volatility that you're betting on with a grid. You're saying, I think it's going to go, this is the lower end of the range, this is the higher end of the range, and you pull out the range with the steps right, and the distance between each step in the grid bot, which you don't do on the market maker. On the market maker, you're just saying, this is the spread, this is the range in which I'm going to do market making. So the market making is nearly guaranteed to just cost you money, but to have as low cost per million in volume as possible. Whereas the grid bot, I've used it myself to generate green P&L on stuff like Solana that has good volatility with high frequency, and so a bit of direction.
So on your market maker, I know we're talking about perps. How does that work? Are you actually buying the token as in a spot buy and selling as a spot buy, or is there a leverage on that? How does that work when it comes to perps on the DEX?
I think this is actually what Thomas is showing right now. So
What I'm
Thomas, here
trying to
we
get to is
So it can
most
take maybe 1 to 2 minutes for it to really get started and start trading. So you will first see that you have an open order, and then the order needs to be filled, right? If there is no volatility, maybe your order won't be filled at all. So you need to reduce the spread for that if you want. But because based on the volatility, yeah, maybe you get like last weekend, market was so flat that we had very low activity with the bots. And based on the setting you choose for the market maker, I will show you there. You have in the advanced parameters, you have the order refresh rate. So it means like it will put the orders top and bottom, and then maybe 25 seconds will cancel, look at the new order book, and put new fresh order basically. So if the price never moves, the order always are cancelled, refreshed, cancel, refresh, but maybe it won't trigger. So check your spread. No, I like to use a tight spread of 3 bips because it has a very decent volume.
So one way to think about this as well, Tom, if you scroll down a bit, is since the spread is essentially, right, like if we use 3 as an example, the analogy that I gave before is perfect, because then the 3 spreads, or the 3 bips, now I'm super simplifying it, would be like 99,000, 100,000, and 101,000 on the BTC. That's not 3 bips, but let's pretend that is. So like that's the range in which the bot will do the buying and selling. So if Toma increased that to 10 bips, range, the low end of the bid could be $95,000 for a Bitcoin, and the high range of the bid could be $105,000. So the spread increases the distance between the lower bid and the higher bid. And then the order refresh rate is how long you're going to wait for somebody to fill the order. So the bigger the spread, usually the longer order refresh rate you need to have, because now more money needs to come in to fill your order, to fill your ticket. So they're all a little bit connected. So the bigger ticket you have, the bigger spread you have, most likely the longer order refresh rate you want to have. Whereas if you have a shorter spread and a big ticket, you might be okay with a decent or like medium order refresh rate. I think 25 is quite long. I like to have really high volume. So on some of my Pacifica bots, I've done 300K a day, and then I have a 10 or 5 second order refresh rate at a 2 bip spread. So then I'm doing super high frequency with very little time for an order to get filled. And if it doesn't get filled, it gets canceled, a new order opens up. The inventory skew here is a little bit like a backpack in which you can put your trades, right? It's the inventory that you build up. So an example of, now Toma has 50 inventory skew. It's a little bit too much for my taste, because if the market were to trend here, Toma could get hurt, because he could have 50 positions in his backpack that he now needs to offload, right? So an example would be, say that Toma buys 100, and then right as Toma has bought, the new lowest bid is 100 and sorry, he bought at 100. Now the new highest bid is at 99. So Tom is going to lose one, like he's going to lose on that trade, right? And imagine that he's done 50 of those, and the market really turns. It goes down with 5% or something. Now Toma really needs to offload all of those positions that he's been carrying, accumulating. But it also enables you to wait longer, right? It could be that it corrects 2% and then it goes back up again. And now Toma has a bunch of great low-priced order for the uptrending market that he can offload and make a profit. So the inventory skew is, I like to think of it as like the backpack in which you store some of your positions. And then kill switch is, of course, like how, like when do you want to completely stop, pause for a bit? And then leverage, we know how leverage work. Hedge trigger. Toma, do you have a good way of explaining hedge trigger?
So basically, you build up an inventory, right? So here I'm having a 300 size, and I can accumulate up to 4 positions in the same direction. So maximum my inventory will be 1.2k. If I reach 1.2k, I need to decrease as soon as possible the inventory, and I can be in a position where the price only. So to decrease the inventory, I need to have sell orders only on one side to stop increasing the inventory. I want to decrease it, so I want to offload the position. So at some point, I will be placing only reduce only orders to decrease the inventory. But if at some point decreasing the inventory is not enough, I need just to say, okay, I sell everything, boom, market price, and I start fresh. And this is basically these triggers that say, okay, at 60% of max inventory limit, I start to bid only one side. So I stop accumulating too much, so I don't reach the full inventory, right? And the kill switch is just to pause when it's too volatile.
So can I just confirm then? So when your trade account reaches 1200, it basically says that's it. Let's do a new bot. That's it. Finished.
No.
So
So
no.
it's saying now you have so many orders. Or so Thomas' example was he had 300 ticket size, I think, or something like that. Then the inventory SKU would allow him to take up to 3 or 4 trades, and then his backpack is full. Then it's like, oh, now you're sitting on 4 trades, and the market might move against you. So the hedge trigger is essentially there as a way to say, stop putting in buy orders and start offloading the inventory, right? So if you think about the range, the market maker always do both, is trying to buy low and sell high at the same time, all the time. So as it does that, sometimes it buys more low position because it can't sell the high positions. The buy pressure is not there for the high positions. And in that case, Toma is now accumulating those, which can be great if the market trends upwards. Now he has 4 positions at 99,000 per Bitcoin. He can now offload them at 105. Great. But if it were to move against him, that's when it can get scary, right? Because now it's not 1 position working against him. Now it's 3 or 4 position is bleeding essentially. But yeah, so that's a little bit more on the inventory max and inventory SKU. With that said, as example on how this plays out on my Paradex that I've been running for 6-7 weeks, is some days I will have a cost of $3 a day. Some days I will have a cost of 9. So it's, and that I'm literally doing 100+ K of volume per day. So it's you're most likely you're not going to launch a market maker bot, step away from it, and then come back and see that you've lost $500. That would be a very incredible edge case scenario.
So basically, you're generating passive income from your points. So you're
exactly.
Okay, so right, okay, I can get my head around that now. So your inventory is basically your trading account, and
Exactly.
you're using that trading account to buy and sell low and high to generate points to then get your passive income from. Right, ideal. That's exactly. I couldn't get my head around because I'm trying to think. We're still in old school. We're still thinking, right? Okay, so where does the dollar sit? But in effect, your dollars are always going to be sitting in your trading account. Your trading account is always going to be a working USDT. Your passive income is where your points is where your passive income sitting. Your passive income, can you cash that at any point? Does it have an effect on your trading account?
So what I love with Mithril is that we never sit on the money. We are non-custodial. We work with the wallet that is connected on your end to the perp DEX. So we never touch the actual money. We just send API signals to the perp DEX to execute the trades. So at any point you want, you can go to Mithril, turn off a bot or even pause it and cash out from the perp DEX. Like within 10 seconds, any day, 24/7, you're in complete control. We never custodial any funds whatsoever. So you can turn it off whenever you want, cash out, and withdraw it from the perp DEX.
Brilliant. Great.
But if your plan is to farm points, it means you take a bet on the value of the token of the perp, like when people were farming Hyperliquid or Aster. So you're building points, you're farming points, but now the token is not live. Of like, for example, Pacifica, the token is not live. Same for Paradex, same for Ibashi. So you take a bet on a bit on the value of the future token, and you take a bet by accumulating points. So right now, if your question is, can I cash out my passive income? No, because you need to wait for the airdrop for that. And each takes as it's shown on a timeline.
Yeah, some of them have OTC desks. So for example, like Paradex, you can sell your Paradex points to other people today, just because it's so attractive that people are willing to like buy and sell them on the secondary or like over OTC. But and I think Pacifica has a bit of OTC. Hibichi I don't think has an OTC yet. This might also be something that we enable because we're accumulating points across these and we would like to accumulate more. So it might be that we open up like an OTC desk in the midterm future so that we can buy points off people.
Cool. Give me a wee shout. I'll give you, I've got a contact there that I can put you in touch with that will set it up for you.
Beautiful. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Okay. So you're generating points. So let's translate it into we're generating tokens. And those tokens are basically your inventory of stock that you can then sell. So those tokens could be XRP, it could be Pacifica token, it could be it's a token, it's a valued token that the price will move up and down in accordance with what somebody else is wanting to buy it for. Cool.
The good thing.
Wait, because if you mean the inventory that was a parameter of the bot, so
no.
we okay.
Yeah, no, I
because
just meant
you don't farm XRP, right? You farm the token of the perp DEX.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I was meaning I was sort of giving it a like for like. So it basically you're building a bag of Pacifica tokens to sell on OTC. That was sort of the
I would highlight that like I love the OTC because two things happen. You establish the floor price. You don't establish the actual market value, right? Like it's so. For example, right now, I think Paradex floor price Paradex OTC price is at 0.2, so 20 cents per point. That's like where people are willing, like some big whales, right, have accumulated millions of points. And currently we're already seeing a higher, like more people wanting to buy them than there is supply of them. What happens is essentially like you establish a floor price that like, do you get what I mean? Like if you can earn a point for below that floor price, you're guaranteed to be in the green. And most likely when the TGE happens, like you've already established the floor, now you only have the potential upside. We saw with like Lighter. Thomas, where is Lighter trading currently, and what was OTC? Like Lighter is at $3.
Lighter, so right now it's 2 billion, between 2 and 3 billion the token. But at some point, the point value, so one point was like between $50 and $100 for a while. And when the DEX started, you could easily get like 100 points for a million volume. So if you're kind of early enough in this opportunity, you can really make like kind of life-changing money. So maybe it won't be as big as Lighter, right? Because and Hyperliquid, because that was amazing. But now we have like a Paradex, which is supported by Paradigm, which is huge. We have extended, which is from ex-Revolut team that we are farming also, which is like if these guys get integrated into Revolut, can be crazy big. So there are opportunities. Hyperliquid is big, Lighter is big, but there are a lot of space on the market for like, if you look at the sex, you have 4 big sexes. And for now with the perp decks, maybe we have 2 bigs, but we're still waiting for the number 3, the number 4. It's a great market. At some point, everything will be traded on chain and not on the centralized exchanges.
Yeah.
So there are big opportunities, and we want to catch it and allow anyone with us to catch it as well.
Yeah. When's Paradex? When are they going to be launching their token? Do you know? Have they given a?
Yeah, next month. So
Excellent.
Paradex is quite late to farm. So I wouldn't start with it, but I would start maybe with Pacifica, which is it's really solid. It's on Solana. It's they have really great community. The team is small but super efficient.
Mhm.
And we have also you should check this, because if you use our referral code, you get some. So for Pacifica, you get 50% point boost, which is basically you translate this as 50% more profitability, and also 10% fees cashback.
Mhm.
So
So
yeah,
we
same for Ibashi.
we've put your guys' links into CCG, for directly for the perps, directly for those decks, so that they'll get those codes that give the extra incentives that you guys are getting. Is there anything? Do our community have to sign up to Mithril, or do you capture CCG data through Mithril yourselves? How does
So
that
did
work?
you, if they use your referral link, that you can go into referral, create your link, then we can see all the activity coming from CCG.
Okay, I'll need to sort that out then. I don't think.
I will send it to you after this.
Ideal. If you can do that. Are you doing it just now? Oh, I just bloody love you. Right, so Ewan's on it then. Can you set it up? Can you set it up, guys? You don't need to do something extra at your side.
Oh, it's anyone can do it from their Mithril interface, so no
Right,
worries.
ideal. That's great.
Also, impressive, Thomas, with the 1.36 in copied volume.
Is that what you're saying just now? Wow.
So it's
This
the
is
amount of
from people who use my bot, who copied my bot.
Wow, well done.
Can I just ask a quick question? It might be a silly one.
Go, Pete.
Go for it,
Sure.
of course.
So the exchanges that we sign up to, can we use that in any region? Like, because I know leverage trading
No,
is not allowed.
it's a good question. Yeah, like Ibashi,
Like
I know that this guy. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like in Australia, there's only a few exchanges that we can use leverage trading. But I have used a trading bot before, and that was on Qcoin. That was going back a few years, and it was an absolute disaster. So I don't know. Yeah, like, can we use it here or?
So yeah, you need to check, because I know that Ibashi, for example, is not supported in the UK nor the US. So you can either use a VPN if it's the same for you in Australia, or use another one. But yeah, I don't know all the countries supported by all of those dexes, to be honest.
Pacifica, Pete, I think you should be fine with. I had a wee quick look through them all. Pacifica,
Okay.
and I'm sure, is it extend? What was it? Extended?
Extended, yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're available as well. You've got to be careful, because it's not specifically the exchange, it's the country. So if they're doing something that the country has stopped them doing, it could be a country thing, but you can download it, you can use it. without VPN. Very similar. You're talking about Hitachi. We can actually use that in the UK. How secure it would be if they decided they wanted to take it away is a different matter. I'd never recommend that somebody did something with a VPN, especially when their money's sitting on it. But because you're using it attached to your wallet, you've got a bit of a safeguard there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't really had time to have a look in the Discord, but is there links? Did you post some links to the exchanges, Sue?
Yeah, so if you go into the affiliates and links in the Discord, you'll find all of the correct links that are attached to the Mithril guys here, which will give all of their bonuses to our community.
Okay.
Ewan has just set up the Mithril link, so I'll put that into. I don't want to do that just now because I'm recording the screen, so the minute I go into Ewan's chat, it brings it up onto the screen and I'll record it.
Okay.
So I'll do that after I've finished recording. I'll put the Mithril guys link up.
And just to share a little bit how we work as well, we're onboarding, I would say, on the low end, we're going to onboard 1 to 2 dexes per month or around there. So if there is a challenge with any of these perp dexes, this is not a meta that most likely is going to go away. Like, if anything, what we can see is it just seems to grow. We now have Polymarket. In addition, we're going to be able to, we're onboarding soon some perp dexes that have commodity trading, that have stocks trading, so that all of a sudden you can short Tesla on a Saturday if Elon Musk gets drunk, or if you want to long it. So we're going to add more and more perp dexes to this. We're currently adding 2 a month, and I think we're going to continue on that track. So if any one of these are not available in your region, potentially use a VPN, or join our Alpha Fridays, because we always share in the Alpha Fridays who we're currently integrating, and maybe tease a bit about the next ones. And currently we have 4 or 5 perp dexes that are we've sort of committed to that we're going to integrate. So it's going to expand quite quickly.
And you are looking at some centralized exchanges as well?
We are. So we have the Super Alpha. We might even be integrating a few selected sexes that are really cool.
Yeah.
That also potentially adds other value propositions, right? So like some sexes have great leverage. That would be really fun to be able to use. It's not just to add another sex, but it's also like because they bring actual value in terms of leverage or trading pairs and etc.
Yeah, good incentives as well, don't they?
Definitely. These guys, you want to highlight like perp dexes and sexes. If you add market makers to that, you literally have the 3 most profitable verticals in crypto. So dexes and sexes. Now you have the opportunity to be your own market maker, which is quite cool. But it's literally the most profitable verticals in crypto. If you're bored and a day, go to DeFi Llama and check protocol revenue from perp dexes or sex. It's sexes you won't have on DeFi Llama, but perp dexes you can find, and it's quite astonishing what these guys are making.
Yeah. Yep. So, guys, I can't thank you enough. I'm really excited. I really like it. I don't get on board with a lot of things, as everybody knows. I'm not a big fan of trading bots. I'm not a big fan of something taking control of my money. But I love the control that this gives me, and I think that that's made the big difference in looking at Mithril. The fact that you can set it up, the fact that it fits my trading strategy, and if you like, automates that grind that I do when I'm range trading, and a lot of us do that range trading. A lot of us would do more if it didn't take so much time. I think the delta neutral is going to be insane, and I think well, I know Ewan's already downloaded it. He will be on the market maker. So if anybody is looking for the day-to-day, how is it going? Give Ewan an at. And I'm going to be doing the same. I'm really looking forward to testing it out over the next couple of weeks, and with all the new stuff that's happening as well.
Like, let us know. So we're more than happy to come back, and I would highly encourage everyone to check out the TG, just because we have an existing community that is very open to sharing. I used to do 40 days of literally sharing my bot configs, what was working, what was not working, 5 days a week leading up to Christmas. I don't really have that time anymore, but we do try and share as soon as we find anything that works. We usually share it on X or in the TG, and so does quite a lot of our community members. So I would highly recommend, like, if you're worried about like the first bot to start with a small ticket size, and check out some of the more famous bots by the community. Like the Market Maker V2 on BTC is a really good one. The mid range is going to work on most exchanges at a decent cost per million. If you want to have a lot of volume, like Habichi as an example. Okay, now yeah, Habichi, we're going to announce tomorrow that Habichi is being integrated. Me and Tom are already running market makers on it. I'm seeing roughly like $40-50 for a million of volume. Most likely that's going to be at least 100% ROI per week. So I would like market maker mid-range is usually quite a good one on most perp dexes. I would also, delta neutral is a great way to offset some of the cost. So I'm running 2 to 3 delta neutrals per day. I'm doing them quite degen now, so I'm doing them at 2, 3, 4, 5,000 order size. But like, start small, get comfortable with it, and just see sort of, okay, am I like, what are your results? Maybe open up 10 delta neutral, $100 each. You're probably going to see 3 of them have a slight loss. I'm talking about like less than $1 to maybe at most $4 or $5 if you're doing $100 ticket sizes. And you're going to see 6 to 7 of them in the green P&L with similar, like a couple of cents up to a couple of dollars. When you feel comfortable, gradually scale up. That would be my sort of my own experience, not financial advice. Just start small, get comfortable, get into the groove of how these things work, and then when you find stuff that works, you can scale it up. And if you want to do 500,000 of volume per day, you can do that. I've done that for a couple of days, nearly weeks now on Pacifica, because it's such an asymmetry on the points. But I didn't start by doing like $500 ticket size orders on the market maker. I started with $10, $20 until I found a good range, right settings, good cost per million, and then I scaled it up. I don't know, Thomas, what would be your like tips from the coach for somebody just getting started with Mithril?
Just copy the best bots. That would be my advice. And maybe start with the preset configuration, because when you create a new bot, you can use your own config or you can use presets. And we have at least 2 or 3 presets per bot type. So usually they work pretty well. They have a short description to kind of understand what's, is it more like conservative, is it more aggressive, is it more based on bullish bias, neutral bias. So I would probably start with this, yeah.
Excellent. And we've got, so we've got in CCG, in the hub area, we've got a Mithril Money chat area. Anybody that's looking for advice, anybody that's looking for anything, jump into that chat area. You can at any of us at any point in time. If there's something that we can't help you with, we've got direct access to Alec and Thomas. I know they'll not mind. If they're about, they'll be in the chat. If they're not about, I can TG them. I'll also put the TG
you ping
link.
us and we will come to the chat.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Telegram links and things, we'll get all of that sorted. On a Friday, as you said, you've got your Alpha Fridays. We're looking to try and get more involved in that. So I'll make sure on a Friday that we've got those links put into the announcements, so we can start joining you guys. And I know Jeremy,
Yeah.
Pete, I know you guys will know a lot of the guys that are sitting in the Telegram group. You might not like Telegram, but you'll like a lot of the guys that are sitting there. You'll know them from fields afar. A lot of good guys in there.
I do
You'll
use
recognise the
Telegram.
music. Do
So
you use it, Pete?
I
So
do, but not a lot. But I do know. Yeah, I've got quite a few channels there, so I'm happy to add it.
a lot of the Galactica community are over there at the moment. They're quite involved, aren't they? A lot of the good guys that we're still in touch with a lot of them, but some of them we've kind of lost touch with. So it'd be nice to touch base again.
Yeah, it's one of I'm very happy and privileged to have been a part of that community. I think sometimes that was probably the best asset that project had, was the incredible community that came up around it. It was beautiful, a lot of amazing people.
100%. 100%.
Actually, the only reason I had Telegram originally was because of Galactica. And I had the farming. There was a farming app that you could, like, every 12 hours you had to.
Oh yeah.
I ended up losing all those, whatever they were, because I didn't do what I was supposed to do with them.
Yeah,
I remember having an alarm clock set for everything.
I'm going to be very honest. That was one of the products that I opposed the absolute most. But I'm happy that you used it. I'm sorry for the experience.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's the one thing I can say. I think that the biggest asset in that project is, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it's the community.
Yeah, the community is insane. Their knowledge, their ability, what they've learned, what they pass on, just the people that they are is crazy. It's insane. Yeah. Yep. Guys, thank you so much. I'm sorry we've taken an hour and a half of your time almost, but well worth it. And again, anything you guys need, just give us a wee shout, and anything that we need, we will be in touch.
Oh yeah, I actually just forgot. I think right now, Toma, Get Started is still live, right? $10.
Yeah, I don't know. You let me know. You made this question.
We will also drop a link to guild.mithril.money, because then as you sign up, you can claim $10. We will send them out tomorrow. We send them out every Thursday. So just so that you can start risk-free, then you have $10 to play around with on the market maker, just to try it out. But it's, as soon as you connect the APIs, get everything set up, we will send you $10. So then you have a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit of starting capital for the ones that are like, maybe I give it a try.
We like starting capital. We don't mind what it is. Excellent.
Thank you. Hopefully we can increase it soon. But yeah, step by step. We just launched it last week. Sorry. So right now it's at $10, I think, when you sign up. But hopefully that can grow, and you can get a bit more fun and cool stuff as well.
Well, we're the same. I mean, we've spoken about this. We're trying to get as much value for the community as possible. So CCG as well, in association with yourselves, we're going to be putting as many incentives back into the community as we possibly can. So it'll be good. It'll be great.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Ping us,
Excellent.
Sui, grab us. If people questions if we should do a second one of these, we will make ourselves available for you guys for sure.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I'll be jumping on
Thank
at
you,
7
guys.
tonight. I'm just going through this recording, and for anybody that's got any questions or anything, they can jump back on. Take care, guys.
Take care.
See you later,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye. Bye.